Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Ohio.
For the Indians lately, it's been as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, get a quality start. 2, get a lead. And 3, hand it over to the bullpen and let them shut the door. Last night, they used the formula to perfection for their 5th win on the homestand. Can Carlos Carrasco continue the Indians' dominance of the White Sox? Find out next on Sports Time Ohio. Tonight here at Progressive Field, perhaps a little history as the Indians try to make it 1,000 regular season wins here at Progressive Field as the Tribe takes on the Chicago White Sox. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. The Indians made a huge move at the trading deadline, acquiring Andrew Miller. He has made their bullpen a lot better. And really, Rick, the bullpen has been in position to now shorten the game, and that's key to winning these days.
And they certainly have done just that. Just look at last night's game. Miller comes on, pitches 2 innings, 16 pitches, 6 outs. It was unbelievable. Lights out. Cody Allen comes on. He gets his 23rd save. And when the back end is pitching well, everything else falls into place. They have been so dominant in their last 5 games. You can see the numbers. Opponent's average is .75. Wow. But everybody else falls in place. And, the starters have been doing their job going deep and taking pressure off the bullpen. The offense has been scoring runs, so it's really a nice combination they have going right now.
So far this year, the Indians have dominated the Chicago White Sox much the same way they've dominated the Detroit Tigers within the Central Division. They've beaten them 7 straight times, and in 6 of those 7 wins, the White Sox haven't scored more than 2 runs. You hold a team to 2 runs or less, chances are you're going to win a lot of baseball
games. You're going to win a ton of baseball games, and that's been their formula within the division. And the Indians have the best record within the division. They've been tough. They don't let them score, and they're able to go out and just beat them in a lot of different ways. This team is playing well. You see the numbers on the year. They've beaten the White Sox 7 straight times, but you see they're outscoring them. They're out pitching them. They're doing everything you have to do to win baseball games. And, it's got to be a little frustrating if you're the Chicago White Sox because Quintana pitched a good game last night, but they just couldn't score enough runs to give that guy an opportunity to win the game.
And a lot of these games between Cleveland and Chicago have been very close, low-scoring games. The difference? The Indians are finding ways to win. We'll see if they can do it again tonight. We'll be back with the first pitch coming up next. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Toyota dealers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Game 2 of their 3-game series at Progressive Field. Welcome into our Sports Time Ohio studio here in downtown Cleveland. I'm Ashley Collins. Earlier today, the Blue Jays and the Yankees were in action. J.A. Happ won his 11th consecutive decision to become the first 17-game winner in the majors. Struck out 9, walked 1. Toronto won at 7-4. They're up a game and a half in the East. And the Nationals on the road, Steven Strasburg on the mound, and he got bombed, giving up 9 hits, 9 runs in 1 2/3 innings of work. Rockies won it 12-10. We'll also keep you updated on that Detroit and Royals game, along with a few others. Now we'll go back out to Progressive Field with Rick and Matt.
Thanks, Ashley. Here at Progressive Field, the Indians look to continue their winning ways. They are 68-49 on the year. They've beaten the White Sox 8 out of 10 meetings. And the Tribe currently holds a 6-game lead over Detroit in the American League Central Division standings. Carlos Carrasco will take the ball for the Tribe tonight. Be going up against Anthony Renato of Chicago. Right now, let's go down for the final word before the first pitch with Andre Knott.
Well, the Indians pitching was what they were built upon, what we expected them to dominate teams with. But they come into tonight's game second in the American League in runs scored. And in the first 6 games of this homestand, they're 5-1. And we want to know why they're doing it. It's because they're aggressive on the base paths. They're 17 of 20 in stealing bases in the 6 games played here. They're 5-1. They've outscored their opponents in these 6 games 42-16. Jose Ramirez has had 7 steals in the last 9 games. This team is playing aggressive. They've scored 20 runs with 2 outs in these last 6 as well. And they're one of the best base stealing teams and running the base teams in all of baseball. Whether it's going from first to third, second to home, or stealing bags, this team has made running the bases one of the reasons why they're a tough out when they're on the offensive side.
I'll tell you what, they've been fun to watch, Matt, because they can create runs. They don't sit back. They don't wait for the 3-run homer. If needed, they get on. They're not afraid to move it, and they've been very good all year long, going first to third, second to home. And now the stolen base is really paying off because they're all starting to get aggressive.
It's funny how a team that is 3rd in the American League in batting average, 2nd in runs scored, 2nd in doubles, 7th in home runs, leading the league in stolen bases, can be under the radar offensively, but they are.
Well, there was no expectations. Everything was built around the pitching, the starting pitching. They said this is how this team is going to survive. And I'm going to tell you something, they're opening up a lot of eyes because people are now saying this is a complete ball club.
And that ball club takes the field right now behind Carlos Carrasco. Take a look at the starting lineup that he will face for Robin Ventura's Chicago White Sox tonight, presented by Spitzer Automotive. Adam Eaton will lead it off. He leads the league with 7 triples. Tyler Saladino bats second. Melky Cabrera third. Jose Abreu, Justin Morneau will DH. Todd Frazier will bat 6th. J.B. Shuck, Tim Anderson, Dioner Navarro round it out.
And our Honda starting pitcher will be Carlos Carrasco, making his 19th start this year. Carlos 8-6 on the year. He has made 1 start this year against the White Sox. It was a no decision. He went 7 1/3, gave up 5 hits and 2 runs. Pitched a good game in that one, but did not get the decision. In his career, he's 3-8 with a .545. So he's going to see if he can go up and throw zeros on the board till his offense can let him sit back. He has 14 out of his 18 starts, 14 decisions. Let's set the defense for you behind him, brought to you by Jeep. It looks like this. Geyer in left, Naquin in center, Chisenhall in right. Ramirez at third, Lindor at short, Kipnis at second, Santana is at first, Perez doing the catching.
Jim Wolf has the plate. Adrian Johnson at first, Chad Whitson at second. The crew chief, Gary Cederstrom, is at third. And we're ready to go tonight. 81 degrees under partly cloudy skies at game time. Adam Eaton climbs in. 0 for 4 last night. Carrasco's first pitch is a little bit outside, ball one. Swung out and missed. Good fastball from Carlos. You know, Adam Eaton is one of those guys, Rick, that I suppose when the team doesn't have the kind of year that they thought they were going to have, or you kind of go into a second half tailspin the way the White Sox have, easy to overlook the kind of season he's had. He's 5th in the American League with 42 multiple hit games this year. Mentioned that he's leading the league in triples, so you know, I think he's done a pretty good job at the top of the order for Chicago.
He's done better than good. He's been outstanding, to be honest with you. When you think about it, you go back to early May, the White Sox were 23-10 and cruising and in first place, and since then it was May 9th. They have gone 33-52.
Struck him out looking. Really good pitch by Carrasco to start the game.
Make this our Circle K strikeout. It's a fastball inside edge. It catches the corner. He's going to take a walk back. First one called.
Down in the dirt, ball one to Tyler Saladino, who was 2 for 4 last night with a double and really had a good offensive approach trying to stay inside the ball. Right now he's trying to get that B out of his face.
Well, he did. His approach was taking Corey Kluber, who had excellent stuff last night, the other way. He had a double and a single going to right center.
Upstairs 2-0. Pop back out of play. High 3-1.
A couple of starts ago here against Minnesota, you remember in that first inning, he came out throwing about 97 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, oh my goodness, he's ready to roll, but he did not last long in that ball game.
In the air, and a routine play for Geyer. 2 down. Boy, usually you get yourself in a count 3-1 against the guy early in the lineup, first inning. That is how pitchers get into trouble early in games usually. But Santana gets him to pop out, or rather Carrasco gets him to pop out. I wonder too, you noticed a lot of the pitches in that at bat to Saladino were up, and while he was able to lay off for the most part, they're so enticing that eventually you get one and you end up popping it up.
You know, sometimes you get after, you get sometimes over anxious. You figure you're going to get a fastball and you get it, even though it's out of the zone a little bit, you get after it.
Melky Cabrera, 1 for 4 last night with a double. Swung through it. Again, a foul right back into the glove of Roberto Perez, and the count of ball and 2 strikes.
You know, it's funny how when you face these teams, we face them 6 times a year. Last time we faced the White Sox, Cabrera was hitting 4th. Abreu was down maybe 5th. Now Cabrera's 3rd. Abreu's 4th.
Swung on and missed. He threw it right by him. And Carlos Carrasco comes out breathing fire. Strikes out a pair here in the 1st. The Indians are coming to bat. Or the Indians starting lineup tonight, brought to you by Progressive. For Terry Francona, it'll be Carlos Santana, Jason Kipnis, and Francisco Lindor. Mike Napoli, Jose Ramirez, Lonnie Chisnall, then it's Naquin, Geyer, and Perez rounding it out. Carlos Santana takes, and it's ball 1 from Anthony Renato. Renato, right-hander, just called up from AAA Charlotte to make the start. And Santana with a bouncer right to Saladino with that shift on. He was in shallow right field, and there's 1 away.
And our Hyundai starting pitcher numbers for Anthony Renato. It's only his 2nd start. But this year in the big leagues, his other start came against the Chicago Cubs. He pitched a dandy, you know, pitched a great game there. He's 26 years old, 6'7", 240 pounds. Cubs hitters were 2 for 22, but the 2 hits were home runs.
Jason Kipnis taking it's a called strike.
And looking at his numbers so far on the year, because he's been out of the bullpen a couple of times. Left-handed hitters now that Santana made it out are 0 for 17 off him. He has walked 8, but struck out 3.
Down and in. Kipnis pops it up, got in on him just enough. And it'll be the right fielder Eaton who makes the grab, and there are 2 away.
Let's check that Sox defense behind Renato tonight. Looks like this. Cabrera in left, Shuck in center, Eaton in right. Frazier at 3rd, Anderson in short, Saladino is at 2nd, Abreu at 1st, Navarro doing the catch.
Robin Ventura has watched his club really falter after a terrific start to the season. Chicago was 23-10 after play on May the 9th. but it has been a downward trend ever since. Francisco Lindor, 5th in the American League with 141 hits. He's also tied for 5th with his teammate Jose Ramirez with that .311 batting average in the American League. Patiently waiting him out. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Big chopper to first, and it stays fair. And the Indians go 1-2-3, no score after 1. Furniture take advantage of mistakes. Lead after 7.
It's always a good situation, especially the way the bullpen's pitching right now. Get the lead after 7.
Jose Abreu leading off for Chicago. And Carrasco with the first pitch strike. Got him to chase.
Good slider, good location. You know, when you're a team like the White Sox that have been pitched so well against, like the Indians, right now they're hoping they get the lead. If you can put some zeros on the board on them early, that certainly helps you, because they've been struggling. They know the pitching is good. They're having a tough time making adjustments.
Got him. Really good pitch by Carrasco, and he has struck out 3 of the first 4 to start the night.
A good breaking ball. You can see where it starts. Let's look at it on our Nissan pitch tracker. It's actually a ball, but it starts out above the knees, and you can see the good bite to his slider going straight down. He had a good slider in his last start. His offense was very generous. He left in that ballgame with a 9-3 lead.
Pitch outside, ball 1 to Justin Morneau.
For Carlos, this is his 10th start in the Central Division this year. His record is 4-2 and an ERA of 3.10. And he is 4-1 in his last 5 starts in the Central.
The 3-0, Morneau swinging, and he pops it straight up. Santana, Perez convert. Carlos calls for it, makes the catch. So twice we've seen White Sox hitters in really good hitting positions. Saladino popped one up the left. Morneau on the 3-0 pitch skies one to the on-deck circle, and there are 2 down. Stat of the game brought to you by Buick. White Sox were 23-10 to start the year. Then after that start, on May the 9th, they were 23-9. They lost 26 of their next 36 games. Well, and they've never recovered. They came out of the All-Star break, lost 7 out of 8, and that dropped them to 10.5 games off pace. Pretty much sayonara.
And then it was, when you looked at those numbers, the starters were a runoff, a run more at least, and then the bullpen. That's where they were really making their hay early. They were getting very good starting pitch, and the bullpen was lights out. I mean, Chris Sale started the year out. What did he have? About 12 or 13 wins in a row.
He was the Cy Young Award winner going away, and there was no doubt about it.
They already gave it to him, but they had to hand it back because he struggled lately.
Frazier swung on and missed. In addition to that great start and then the performance struggling, then you had the off the field issues that came up with Chris
the jersey. Right.
He took the scissors to the jersey. They suspended him. I mean,
yeah, he had a 4 or 5 game suspension.
He didn't like the old time throwback uniforms they were going to wear at home, and it just, that sort of embodies what the year's been like for the White Sox.
I mean, he's still having a terrific year when you look at it, but the way he started, it was unbelievable. And then to get suspended and, you know, stick up for it, it was, you know, it's almost like it was childish for it to happen. You know what? You wear the uniform for a day is the way I look at it. What difference does it make?
1-2 pitch, strike 3 called, inning over. Carrasco has struck out 4 of the first 6, and Frazier has fanned all 5 times in the series. Part of the order due up here for Cleveland. Carlos Carrasco is carving here early. Pitch up high, ball one. Straight back. Mike Napoli, 6th in the American League in home runs, tied for 5th in runs batted in. Napoli maintaining the longest current streak in the major.
That's a pretty impressive streak, 16 games for Knapp. A guy that, you know, he can swing and miss a lot, but boy, he has been consistent and loves hitting in this ballpark and has all year long. We keep saying that, but boy, he's been terrific. 323 average.
That's in the left center field gap. Coming hard is Shuck, and he'll run it down. One away. Let's go down to Andre Knott.
Well, the reporter Renato goes like this, throws all 4 pitches, but the best pitch he has is off speed wise will be his curveball. I was told it's not the best curveball that they'll see, but he uses it very well, keeps you off balance. You guys talked about that start that he had against the Cubs. You mentioned he gave up 2 home runs, Arch.
Yeah.
Do you realize that he hit one? Not something the Indians have to worry about tonight, but he did hit the other one in that 2-1 game before he was pulled after 6 2/3.
Good thing he's not in the lineup tonight then.
Got to dig deep sometimes.
You do. You always do, my friend. He's a big guy. I told you, 6'7", 240 pounds. Originally drafted by the Red Sox in the 2010 first-year player draft. 39th overall pick.
Smoked, fouled on the right side.
Red Sox traded him to Texas in exchange for Robbie Ross in 15.
Out of play. That's smoked. Right field, down the line, into the corner. Ramirez off to the races. And he'll pull into second base with a 1-out double.
Well, in the top 10 in doubles in the league. That's number 31 for Jose. And this guy, he turned on a fastball inside. Look at it. And he missed one foul earlier. He certainly did not miss this one. It gets down into the corner. First hit of the ball game, and no surprise it comes off the bat of Jose Ramirez. First hit given up to a left-hander this year for Renato, and like we said, he's only pitched a couple of times. This is his second start.
Lonnie Chisenhall takes an off-speed pitch for ball one. And that's out front. Renato with a 1-1. And Chisenhall smokes it deep down the right field line. It is gone, a home run. Chisenhall just inside the pole makes it 2-0 Cleveland, his 7th home run of the year. The Indians jump out in front, where they are 49-15 on the year when they score first.
Chisenhall his 7th. Third home run given up by Renato, and there they go. I mean, they love it in that dugout when they get on board early. And it stayed fair. That didn't hook. He hit it very true. See him stay in, down and in. That's his wheelhouse. He likes it. Chisenhall gets his 43rd and 44th ribby. Indians up 2-0.
And now here's Tyler Naquin, leading American League rookies in batting average, second among American League rookies in homers, 5th in RBIs. He's quickly in the hole here, 0-2. The other thing with Naquin this year, he has 5 triples, and that's 4th in the American League overall. One more than teammates Jason Kipnis and Lonnie Chisenhall.
Yeah, there were a couple times when we were in Kansas City, I thought Naquin could have had a couple of more triples if he would have kept going a couple of times.
Out of play.
Nice catch. That was barehanded, Matt, straight in. I mean, that was a dandy. Nice catch. He should get high fives. Watch this. And jumping.
Oh yeah, he went a little elevation.
Yes, he did. That was a very nice play.
Naquin fouls it right back. Upstairs, he misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a curveball just missed for Renato. So here's Naquin taking a page from some of his veteran teammates' book. You get down on the count, you work it, you get back to a full. See what happens. Curveball, and he got him that time. He made that one a little more enticing. Had a big break to it, but it didn't miss up in the zone. That one dropped right down in there.
That one had enough spin to it to come down. He's been up in the zone with his curveball, but that time it was enough off of that pitch. I think Tyler Naquin thought it might have been a little high, but it was a good pitch.
Down low. There's that curveball again.
And he's not afraid to throw it. He's thrown it a lot here in the first couple innings.
There's a line drive, base hit left center. Geyer with a big turn. He'll dig and hold right there. Shuck got it back in quickly. So a 2-out single keeps the inning going.
That's the kind of swing you want to put on a baseball. He spit on that curveball. You know, you shouldn't swing at it until you get to 2 strikes, but he gets a fastball to his liking and he doesn't miss it. 3 hits in the inning, and that was it right on the nose. That was right there for him. Good swing. So a 2-out single.
And up comes Roberto Perez, who was 1 for 3 last night with a double. Chopped to short. Anderson will go the long way, and the inning is over. Indians get on the board first. Jose Ramirez with his 31st double. Lonnie Chisenhall brings him home with a 2-run homer. for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Fastball strike. J.B. Shuck, 1 for 4 last night.
Yeah, his first 3 at-bats had some problems. He busted 3 bats, but he ended up getting a base hit in his final at-bat.
And another base hit. First of the ball game for Chicago after Carrasco had retired the first 6 in a row to start the night.
There's that little changeup. It stayed up. It stayed middle of the plate for Carrasco, allowing Shuck to pull it in the hole. So the first hit tonight for the Sox.
Breaking ball in there for a strike. Missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. That is crushed. If it's fair, it's gone. And it is off the pole, a 2-run homer. And the White Sox come right back and tie it.
Well, that did not take long, and you're right. That ball was crushed. I thought that was going to hit that bridge up there, but it hit the foul pole. Or the fair pole, whatever you want to call it. So a pair of 2-run homers, and we are back to even. That's Anderson's 7. And boy, he got good extension, and he turned on that one.
That ball hit pretty high up on that foul pole, too.
Yes, it did. I mean, it was.
It might have made it to the bridge if it hadn't hit that.
It looked
pole.
like it. That is the 18th home run given up by Carlos.
Strike to the outside edge. Well, it gives the White Sox some life because they haven't had much.
Yeah, they come right back. You know, what they do is they take the momentum out of that dugout for the Indians, and they feel good about themselves now. Answering.
Way out in front of it. Carrasco strikes it out.
Well, Indians baseball is live with the MLB.com at-bat app. You can stay connected all season with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
Back to the top of the order, Adam Eaton. Showing bunt, took it for a ball. All tied at 2 here in the 3rd. That was a pretty good looking pitch. Called a ball again, 2-0. Ramirez cheating in on the grass at 3rd in case Eaton follows through with a bunt. swinging and fouls it back.
Got him to go after a 2-0 changeup that actually was in a very good location. Going down and away.
Smallish crowd tonight for the middle game of this series against Chicago. Under 14,000 here last night. The 3-1 offering, and Eaton bunts it. If it stays fair, it's
Let
a
it
hit.
go.
It will go foul.
Yeah, you had no choice. It was a really nice bunt, but once it got off the grass, you can see how it was contoured. You know, a lot of times when you're out taking batting practice, you will go out there before the game and roll balls to see what will happen if you just roll it on the grass. That should have been a perfect bunt, but you can see the roll, it just never stopped and it was tilted away from the field. So you got to get a little more grass up there than, you know, going right down the line within 6 inches. We used to roll balls out there and see what it would do and how it would play out. Of course, when you bunt a ball, sometimes that might have a little funny spin to it that helped it.
Does it at all depend on what kind of pitch is thrown?
Could
with that
be.
spin.
It was
Strike three called. In other words, Rick, will a fastball that you bunt react differently as opposed to, say, a slider?
Yeah, maybe the spin will go the other way, but anytime you're angled, you're bat angled that way, it's the ball seems to spin that way. It's like a hitter, left-hander hitting it down the third baseline. You have that kind of rotation on it.
6 Ks for Carlos Carrasco, 2 down in the inning. And Tyler Saladino, the hitter, flied to left his only time up.
A fastball, it's going to be tougher to deaden. The breaking ball will be a little easier to, you know, because it has a spin on it, and it takes the spin off when you bunt it.
Back out of play.
We had a couple of balls coming our directions last night.
Yeah.
We've been getting close.
In your younger days, I think you would have dove for that one last night.
Yeah, probably. Especially with the net down there now.
Here's the 0-2. In the hole, and a base hit for Saladino.
So back come the Sox. They get 3 hits in the inning. Keep it going.
The injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Danny Salazar will come off the DL and make the start tomorrow. Unfortunately, the Indians had to put Josh Tomlin on the family medical emergency list. He's got back home to his native Texas to attend to a family matter there. But with that move, the Indians will then activate Salazar tomorrow. He'll take Tomlin's spot on the rotation. And if Josh is back in a couple of days, then they'll have to make a subsequent move. But as far as tomorrow is concerned, just getting Salazar on the roster, that's what they'll do. And you have to hope that this latest stint on the DL is all that Danny Salazar needs, and that will enable him to make it through the rest of the year.
You certainly hope so, yes.
Melky Cabrera struck out in the first inning. And that's saying something, because he's the 5th hardest to strike out in the American League this year.
Well, here we go again. This happened last start with Carrasco, if you remember. And I know he wants to try and control the running game. But if you remember, after in his last start, they gave him a 4-run lead, and he came back out and really took the whole momentum away from his ball club in throwing, I think it was 7 times to first base, 8 times to first base with trying to think who was out for the Angels.
Well, it started when we were in New York, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
There goes Saladino. Throw down by Perez, and they got him. What a throw by Roberto Perez. And Lindor slaps the tag on him to end the inning. Chicago ties it on the 2-run homer by Tim Anderson. 2-2, middle of the third.
Courtesy of Cleveland.com Friday. The Blue Jays will be in town. There will be post-game fireworks to follow that ball game. Visit Indians.com for your tickets. That's not a fedora either. It's tough finding them. They'll have them this weekend.
They're bringing him back.
I know you got one at home.
I got a few.
Yes, you do. Bring it in.
Downstairs to Santana. Two-two ball game. 2-0 pitch to Santana, and a foul right back. Down in the dirt.
I guess the Blue Jays, they played today. They beat the Yankees again. Jay Happ got his 17th win. They are in town, I would think. They're getting close to it if they're not already here. They have the off day here tomorrow before that series starts on the weekend. Of course, the Indians are out of off days till September 1st.
So you're saying don't go to Cedar Point tomorrow because the Blue Jays will
be there, right? All right, you bet.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be crazy in the month of September in the AL East. You get 3 teams within a game of each other starting the day today.
Yeah,
and they're going to all be playing each other. So
that's what it's all about, baby. That's fun.
It's fun for everybody except the guys involved, because it's going to be, for the fans, their stomachs will be in knots every day.
Well, that's true. The fans, it's tougher to watch than it is to play. It's easier to be the player. When you watch and you follow, it drives you nuts from pitch to pitch. You know, the guy doesn't, call a strike and you go crazy. It is. It's tougher to watch.
Santana shoots it to deep right field. See you later. Deep into the lower deck. Holy mac. Santana absolutely smoked it. And that's his 26th home run of the year. And the Indians go right back in front 3-2.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a day for the long ball. Chisenhall hit a 2-runner. That was a bomb by Santana, and Anderson hit a bomb. This is going to be our Yellowwood bringing the lump of Santana gets number 26, and there was no doubt about that one. So back come the Indians. They answer that 2-run homer that the White Sox put on the board the top half of the inning.
That hit the very last seat in the row, and that lower bleacher, that lower seating section. Kipnis looks, it's outside.
Look, in case you didn't see it, I just wanted to tell you, you hit it really far.
Kipnis with a little jam shot to third, and right there to grab it was Frazier. Let's go down to Andre now.
One thing we've learned about Francisco Lindor in a little over a year that he's been a part of the Cleveland Indians is consistency. In this homestand, he already has 3 multi-hit games. Here's tonight's hear right sounds of the game on consistency.
There's days that you did good, and the next day you show up and you're like, you know what? You try to lay back a little bit, then you start doing bad a little bit, and then you try to do a little too much, you know. So it's all about your mindset. I think I try to go about my game with the mind right, day in and day out, to make sure I do the same thing. No matter, I try to make my job as boring as possible.
Thanks, Andre. Lindor fouls one back, and it's 0-2.
That ain't right, man. Look at Taz down there. He's looking at him.
That was beautiful.
He's looking up there. We got John right now, so smile.
Don't do what you normally do. That's what he's saying.
I can hear him laughing up here.
Oh boy.
That's beautiful.
The 0-2 to Lindor, and he lines one into left field for a base hit.
Well, he's been doing that on this homestand. He keeps his hands back, and I'll tell you, he waits as long as anybody and then pulls the trigger and slaps it to left field. So a nice job of staying back on it. And there's Lindor. It was up a little bit, and you can see Renato a little upset where that pitch was located and taken advantage of by Lindor. So they have 5 hits now. It was a 1-out single by Lindor.
He's got the 5th most hits in the American League, 142. Redbird says 105 of them have been singles. Now Mike Napoli, he takes a curveball, and it's a little high, ball 1. Mike Napoli, of all the numbers and the stats, and we've got a ton of them with regards to Nap, what he's done this year, whether it's how many pitches he sees, how many runs he's driven in, how many home runs he's hit. But you mentioned something, Rick, about the consistency of his performance. And I think this is the number that speaks to that. He has the 4th best at-bat to RBI ratio in the American League. He's averaging an RBI per every 5 at-bats, 4.9 to be exact.
Okay,
but that's 4th best in the American League. So he's doing it on a consistent basis.
You get him up to the plate 5 times, he's going to drive in a run, is what it says. And and if you can do that every day, then you're in business. I mean, that averages out. But this is a guy we've watched play a number of years with different teams. I never realized how good he was until we had an opportunity to see him play every day. And I don't know if he's changed or if this team has done anything to him, but he's just been in the middle of that lineup, and he's been consistent, and he's been a treat to watch. He takes his walk. He's out there every day. He gets guys on base or in scoring position. He gets the 2 strikes. He'll give in. He'll try and take it the other way. Hence his 16-game hitting streak going on right now.
Missed outside, and Napoli draws a walk. So now Renato's worked himself into some trouble with 2 on and 1 out. And one of the league's best hitters, Jose Ramirez, coming to the plate. Don Cooper's going to the mound. We're going back to the studio to check in with Ashley Collins.
Thanks, Matt. Tigers playing host to the Royals, second inning, and it's Victor Martinez. He homers off Yordano Ventura. That's his 22nd homer of the season. Detroit 6 back from the Tribe in the AL Central. Detroit up 1-0, top of the 4th, guys.
Didn't want to leave that fastball down there for Victor.
Meeting breaks up. Jose Ramirez coming up. He doubled into the right field corner and scored ahead of the home run by Lonnie Chisenhall in the 2nd inning. Ramirez 5th in the American League in batting average, 8th in doubles. He is 4th in stolen bases. He's also got the 3rd best home batting average and the 3rd best average in the league with runners in scoring position.
Let me know when you're done.
Yeah, right. Upstairs.
Again, he's trying to get that curveball over.
Now Jose Ramirez trying to drive home a run here and find his way on base. Take a look at Arcia in the driver's seat.
He got a fastball up and in his first time up and drilled it down into the corner to get the first hit of the ball game back in the 2nd. Come around to score on Chisenhall's homer.
That's a good pitch. 2-1.
Yeah, that's not one you want to swing at a 2-0 count unless you are absolutely looking for it. Really, the only guy that Renato has faced has been Geyer coming into this game. He's never faced any other Indian.
Ramirez shoots one right field. Eaton will make the catch. Lindor will tag. He'll get to 3rd, but now there are 2 down. It's going to bring up Lonnie Chisenhall, who hit a 2-run homer in the 2nd. It was a ball down and in, right where just about every left-handed hitter who has ever played the game of baseball loves to see a pitch. That's where you can do damage, and he did exactly that. That foul over toward the White Sox dugout.
There it was. Get that out of here quickly.
Renato quickly ahead, 0-2.
Send along our congratulations to Harold and Ida Smith of Canton, celebrating their 75th anniversary. And believe it or not, we have another 70th wedding anniversary to Pete and Wanda Pearson. Congratulations to you both. That's amazing.
That's awesome.
70, 75 years you've been married. God love you.
Fake the throw down to 3rd.
Tell you what, I don't know if he had the ball, but they might have had a chance at him. He came down the line, and that's why he went back in fair territory, but he was off the bag for a while. And that's a clear path there for Navarro. Not sure if he you know, transferred it and had a good grip on him, because I thought he had him, to be honest with you.
Ground ball towards 2nd. It gets by Saladino. Lindor scores. It's 4-2 Cleveland. That's the 81st run of the year scored by Francisco Lindor. Lonnie Chisenhall has driven in 3 of the 4 for Cleveland tonight.
Yeah, nice night for Lonnie. He gets another fastball. He's able to put, oh no, that's a high breaking ball. I'm sorry, curveball that stayed up, and he gets it right in the hole that, holy smokes, Knapp had to jump over. Get over the top of it. That's why he couldn't get to 3rd. Gets under the glove of Saladino.
was quite a move by Mike Napoli midstream to
Looked like a gazelle.
hit the springs, get up in the air. Air nap.
Yeah, right. Don't say that. He may be coming out with his own shoes.
He can do no wrong. Lonnie Chisenhall with another multi-RBI performance. 6 times he's driven in 3 or more in a game this year. Naquin shoots one straight back.
Watch this. Sometimes you have to keep your eye on that ball, but it was hit, and he did a nice job of getting out of the way, picking those feet up. Inning's over if it hits him. The run doesn't score.
Naquin following it back.
And we have one birthday to get out tonight. Audrey Donaldson is turning 91 today. She lives in Chagrin Falls, watches every game, and is a huge Tribe fan. So, Audrey, happy birthday to you. We hope we can get you a win on your birthday.
Struck him out. Ends the inning. But the Indians come right back. It's been back and forth now. The Indians get a home run from Santana, an RBI knock from Chisenhall. They lead it 4-2.
Oops.
Melky Cabrera to lead off for Chicago here in the 4th. Out of play.
See, after that pitch, that ball ran away. Perez looks out at Carrasco, told him to keep his shoulder in, man, because that ball, he wanted it inside, ran off the plate, even though he got the swing.
Boy, he went down.
Yes, he
golfed
did.
that ball, but not enough carry to it. One away.
Tough to get a ball to
Still a
carry
nice-
when you hit it this high
I'll
off
tell
the
you
ground.
what, I didn't think he could get to it the way he did. That was a nice job by Cabrera just to get the bat to it.
Yes, it was.
It's going to bring up Jose Abreu, who struck out his first time up. Jose Abreu's at the plate. Every infielder's got to be on his toes. There's a line drive base hit in the left field. That's his first hit in the series. And the White Sox have a one-out base runner.
Now at bat.
Well, see Carrasco. It looked like a slider that stayed up. And he took advantage of it. He hit it to left field. The outfielders got to be on their toes too when this guy's hitting.
Morneau looks, it's low and away.
I know Morneau doesn't have a big track record because he hasn't faced Carrasco many times, but coming into the game he was 3 for 6. He's now 3 for 7. He popped up his first at bat on a 3-0 count. This guy's still got some thunder in his bat, as he showed last night. Hit the solo home run back in the 6th inning off Corey Kluber to get him on the board and make it a 2-1 game.
I think he's probably showing teams that, hey, don't forget about me in the offseason. I may be sticking around for another year.
Well, he may show the White Sox he's pretty good protection for the guy that's hitting in front of him, Abreu.
And the White Sox certainly will have an interesting offseason to trying to figure out what they do.
They had one last year. They went out and signed some guys, and everyone felt that, okay, they made a lot of moves. They're ready to go.
Just missing that time. 2-2.
You know, they went out and got Todd Frazier. They went out and they signed Austin Jackson. You know, they made some moves, and it got off to a great start, and people saying, see, I told you so. And it just didn't pan out for whatever reason.
Oh, that's hit well, perfectly placed.
Right on it.
And Abreu's going to go for
Got
third.
it for the second.
Yeah, and Geyer had a tough time getting it out of his glove, and everybody's safe, second and third with one out.
And it wasn't hit hard, but it was placed beautifully. And that was the play right there, because Geyer didn't have a chance at Abreu. He made his own call. I'm going to third base, because he couldn't get there in time. Look at that piece of hitting when you get to 2 strikes. Take it the other way. Geyer comes up. You got to go right to second base. Keep the double play in order. There's Ramirez chasing it down, and you're not playing him way over near the line, so that guy you knew was going to go to third. He wasn't ready to throw it to second. So now they have second and third and one out, and a good opportunity for the Sox to get back on the board.
That's one of those pitches too. In that situation, you know the defense and where they're shifted.
Yep.
If you throw that pitch, you're expecting him to not be able to reach it. So he actually, even though Morneau went out and got it, he actually threw it too good.
And he didn't try to turn it, though. You got to give Morneau credit for it. I mean, he gave every inch that he had, but it went down the third baseline exactly where they were not playing him. They had him played to pull.
Todd Frazier has been up to bat 5 times in the series and has struck out all 5 times. Not this time. That one's going to land in the bleachers.
How about that? Carrasco cannot.
Oh, did it. It got off the top of the wall. 2 runs will score, and Frazier's going to check into second base with a 2-run double.
He cannot hold the lead. They come right back and gave him another 2-run lead, and he gives it back within 4 hitters. Gets the first out, and then 3 straight hits. So back comes Chicago. They got some fight in him. This is the first time he's put a ball in play in the series, and I thought it went out as well, but it did not. But it's out there enough to get Abreu and Morneau home and tie the ball game back up at 4.
So Frazier gets his first hit in the series and does damage with it. J.B. Shuck to the plate with 1 out. These are kind of typical divisional games.
Well,
especially you get to this point in the season where everybody knows everybody.
They come right back. And we mentioned Carrasco. I mean, he's pitched once against them this year. He had a no decision, pitched a good game. But in his career, 3-8 in 14 starts. This is his 15th start against the White Sox. And an ERA of up over 5.45 to be exact. And every time the Indians have been on the board, the White Sox have had an answer.
That one goes right through Kipnis. And around third, Frazier is going to try to score. Now he jams on the brakes, goes back. The throw down to second, and they've got Shuck in a rundown. Shuck's going to be tagged up by Santana, but he falls down and the run scores.
He does the right thing, man. He suckered him into giving him a run. Once Lindor gave the ball up to Santana and they started running him the other way, Shuck did a great job of just staying right there and going to the ground. Santana bit, and watch, he's got the guy coming home. He should have stopped and turned and throw to home right here. He never even looked him back. It didn't look like. So they get the run across. They take a 5-4 lead.
Batting for Chicago, number 12, Tim Anderson.
That'll be an error.
Tim Anderson absolutely crushed the ball last time up. His 7th home run of the season.
Well, he missed that one by 2 feet. Yes,
and he went too far, strikes out to end the inning. Bad location, sloppy play defensively, and the White Sox take a 5-4 lead. Fourth. T-Mobile, greater coverage of baseball. Mookie Betts, 2 more home runs last night.
That guy's on fire.
Hit 7 in 5 games at Camden Yards this year.
He's saying, keep me here, please. They only have 2-game series there, and they got to leave.
Anthony Renato has not pitched all that great, but he's got the lead now. Geyer was thinking about a bunt, ends up taking it for a called strike. Noah getting loose in the White Sox bullpen. And another base hit for Brandon Geyer. Nice piece of hitting there to just go the other way. And the Indians come right back. They've got their leadoff man aboard.
He was down in the count 0-2, and he battled back. This was a 1-2 pitch, a fastball in. He hit the fastball to left center his first time up, so he takes it the other way. And you're right, he stayed on the baseball. He's now 2 for 2. The Indians' theme on this homestand have been 2-strike hitting.
Well, they've been unbelievable with 2 strikes, and especially with 2 outs. But let's go down to Andre real quick.
Well, if you're surprised that Brandon Geyer is in the lineup against the righty, don't be. Today, Terry Francona said with Abraham Almonte's situation at the postseason, he wants to get him in there in better situations. Also, he had faced the righty before. He was 1 of 2 with a home run, so that's why he's in the lineup tonight.
Well, you don't get to the big leagues. He can hit righties. It's just that his numbers are very good against left-handers. But he's getting an opportunity, and he's going to get more of an opportunity as the year goes on, as Andre said. Playoffs coming when the Indians get there. Abraham Almonte cannot play in because of his suspension for PEDs, so he will be out once the season's over.
But as Terry Francona has maintained, you got to get there first. So he's going to use
absolutely. If and when, like we said, if and when. But you're right, you have to get there first.
Roberto Perez takes a strike, and he's in the hole 0-2.
That hasn't mattered tonight between both sides. 0-2 counts. Terry tried to hit and run on the first pitch that Perez fouled off.
Out of play to the right. Just missed outside. Boy, Perez caught maybe a break there.
Well, Jim Wolf is a good home plate ball and strike umpire, and he's consistent no matter what he does. That pitch, that'll be a ball all night long, and it might have been just a ball with off the plate. And he will be consistent for both teams and for every hitter. Nice pick. See how the breaking ball's back up when you throw that slider, and he just went right into his glove. He was going to try and throw a body on it.
It's almost like they bounce the opposite way they're
spinning. They do. They spin one way and they come right back the other. That's exactly right.
Maybe 2 here.
That's the pitch he laid off.
No. Tell you what, that's awfully close at second base. Terry Francona might have a legitimate challenge here.
Sandy was pointing down at second.
Because Tim Anderson, the shortstop, came across the bag, and it looked like the throw pulled him off the base, and he will challenge the play.
Well, that's the pitch that Perez swung at is the one oh, yeah. That's right. He'll be called safe. And Sandy was pointing out there all the way.
Unfortunately, Roberto Perez is still out at first base.
Yeah, that's right. But you get your guy going to second base, so that'll be a 6 or what was it, a 4-6-3 out.
Yeah.
We saw that the other day too.
But instead of a double play and nobody on base,
Right.
you got a runner in scoring position.
Yes, you do.
Down a run.
Sandy was pointing as soon as that play happened, and look how quick. He's safe. Clearly off the base. That was easy.
Gary Cederstrom, the crew chief, issuing the decision by the replay official in New York. The umpire who made the call at second base was Chad Whitson, but Anderson was clearly
Well,
off the bag.
that was legal before. Before this year, you had to stay on the base. You used to be able to do that.
I mean, he's watching it. I don't know how he doesn't see that, but hey, it happens.
Happens a lot.
Yes.
It's more than just happens. It happens about 48% of the time.
Carlos Santana takes a strike. I wonder, Rick, umpires are human. They've got, you know, hopes and fears and just like everybody else. I wonder though with replay if it has made them a little more skittish on calls.
It should. You know what? Because you have that to help them. I mean, that's the bottom line, is to get it right. And if they make a bad call, I don't know what happens to you. Let's say you're the worst, you know, umpire in the league as far as overturned calls. What's going to happen to you? Nothing. Don't know.
The 0-1 pitch. Santana takes a strike, and he's in the hole, 0-2.
I'm sure they have it all documented, how many calls are and where you've been, and you know, whether it's first, second, third.
They've got them all. Every
Sure.
call gets. I mean, every umpire's graded every game, so they know how they stack up all season long, whether they're reviewed or not. Oh-2 pitch. Santana lines it into left field. Geyer, a bit of a late break. He'll stop at third.
Yeah, he had to hold up. That was a line drive. You freeze until you see it gets through the infield, so he could only go up one base. But look at Santana on an 0-2 pitch going the other way. Instead of trying to pull the ball, there you see Frazier off the bag, and you have to wait to make sure. So good job of base running. It goes through. It's runners at the corners, and I don't know how much longer they're going to stay here.
You know, the interesting thing about that, Rick, is I understand everything you just said, and it's true. When you're a base runner, you've got to freeze. Even if he freezes there, Frazier catches the ball.
He's out.
He's out. Anyway,
I know it.
you know?
That is true. But I mean, that's instinct.
Right.
You want to move forward, but as a base runner, you're taught or told to just stay put on line drives.
It's ingrained.
So you don't get doubled off.
Gipnis fouls it back. Well, the Indians trying to come right back again.
Well, the opportunities there, and it's because of an unturned double play. How many times have we talked about that this year?
Out of play. You know, that one really, when you look at that play, I know I guess there was no scoring decision.
There's no error on it.
But that's an error on Tyler Saladino because the throw was
Took him off the base?
Yeah, if he makes a good throw, that's an easy double play. I mean, that's I don't think that's debatable.
Yeah, Saladino more of a shortstop than he is a second baseman, so this is all new to him over there. It's a little different from that side of the infield.
Kipnis pops.
That'll get it done.
Backpedaling Cabrera, tagging his Geyer. He's coming home. He will score, and we are tied at 5. Kipnis with RBI number 67. He's on pace to have a career year in runs batted in. He's already set a career high in home runs.
So the gift run there for the Indians. Cabrera goes back. He's not even going to attempt a throw coming in. Geyer scores easily.
I think after that little slip, he's just happy that he caught the ball.
Yeah, that could be. So they come back, and it's been 5 straight half innings that there's been runs on the board. Indians bottom of the second, 2. Chicago scored 2 in the third. The Indians come back and answered. The Sox come back and answered, and now the Indians tie it back up.
Chunk of it went toward first base.
We see this a lot now, off the end of the bat with the cupped ends, and you get a splinter off the barrel head of the bat.
Did you see all the particles in the air? Oh, that was awesome. Whiskered foul. Heads up down there, folks.
We got it on the forearm.
Santana, the runner at first with 2 down. And the 1-2 to Lindor. Threw his bat at it. And Saladino, a close play at first, but he does throw him out to end the inning. Indians return a run to the board, and we are tied at 5 after 4. By Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. By your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. And by the Cleveland Clinic. Access anytime, anywhere. By 5, 5th inning. Deanna Navarro to lead off for Chicago. Switch hitting catcher struck out his only time up. Which pitcher will be the first to put up a 0?
Yeah, for a shutdown inning.
After the scoring began in the bottom of the second, they have traded runs since. 2-0 the count.
Not what Carrasco wants to do. Come out and start falling behind the hitters. You're facing the number 9 hitter. You got to get aggressive here.
There's a strike. I mean, he came out of the gate tonight.
Again.
6 up, 6 down, struck out 4, looked just dominant. And then a single and a 2-run homer started the third, and it's as if he hasn't been able to recover since.
That's how it was when you think about it in that start against Minnesota. Remember, early he started out throwing unbelievable and went 3 2/3 innings. He hit the ball all over the ballpark on him. Chicago's hitting him hard too. 3 hits in the third inning, 3 hits in the fourth.
To left field. Geyer makes the catch, 1 away. Let's go back to the studios. Here's Ashley Collins.
Thanks, Matt. Red Sox and Orioles in Baltimore. We'll go to the third inning, tied at 1. Jackie Bradley Jr. with his 20th homer of the season. This one a 2-run shot to center. Red Sox, Orioles both tied for second in the AL East, 1 game behind Toronto. Red Sox up 5-1, top of the 5th.
You're right. That's going to be a dogfight.
Left center in the gap. Naquin played it back on his heels, and the long throw, close play. He's safe at second. Kipnis looking into the dugout. Not sure if he felt like they had a play there that warrants a review, but they'll take a look at it. In the meantime, he's checking to make sure that Eaton is okay, because he went headlong right into the glove and elbow of Jason Kipnis.
It looked like the hand might have been there by the time he tagged him. It looked like it was in the chest. If he got a hand, he was out.
Yeah, I don't think he did, though.
It didn't look like it did it, and the hand gets in there, so I think he's going to be safe. But as I said last night, what do I know? It was good aggressive base running by Eaton to get himself into scoring position.
Again, that's the danger, though, when you go head first. You get an elbow, you get a glove to the face.
Yeah, that's true. He's going to ask Jim Wolf, I don't know what. I guess they're going to check. Or they're going to ask something. Oh no, they're going to it.
Yeah, they are going to challenge it. Maybe Mike Barnett saw an angle in the clubhouse that would indicate Kipnis's glove did swipe the hand.
That could be true.
If he did, he's out. The only angle we saw, it was hard to tell. It looked like he didn't tag him until he got him on the chest. But maybe that glove on the swipe tag grazed the hand. If it did, they might be able to get this overturned. Let's take a look. I don't know, Arch. I can't tell if that glove touches the forearm or the hand before. I don't see the hand of any of the fingers move.
That looks like to me he got in there. That's just from that what I see here.
If he tagged him at all, it would be on that right hand. And this is quick, so I'm going to say that they didn't see it that way. Well, maybe the only possible shot was if Kipnis's glove got the right hand of Adam Eaton, but apparently replay suggesting that did not happen. So a 1-out double for Eaton.
Yeah, we have double barrel action in the Indians bullpen.
Anibal Sanchez is throwing a no-hitter against Kansas City through 6 innings for Detroit, and it's 1-0 Tigers.
Wow.
That's Yordano Ventura going for the Royals. He's only allowed to run on 4 hits. Check the swing. It's foul. Tyler Saladino shot one through the right side of the infield his last time up. See there, Carrasco's only at 70 pitches, but it's just been one of those nights. You know, his last 2 starts, he went 7 innings both times and gave up just 3 runs to the Angels, 3 runs to the Yankees. But tonight, after those first 2 innings, the White Sox have been able to get to him. 7 hits in the last 2 innings plus 2 batters here in the 5th. It's truly kind of been one of those all or nothing games for him. He's got 7 strikeouts.
Yeah, he's made some great pitches and he's made some bad pitches, and they have not missed the bad pitches. They have hit him, and they've hit him hard.
Popped up, might be playable for Santana. To the railing, no.
Lindor's going to come in and say something to Carrasco because Eaton is edging off the bag. He's telling him, just keep your eye on him and make him stop.
Up high, 2-2. White Sox finally breaking through against an Indians team that they have not been able to score against. 7 straight games. They've scored 3 runs or less, and that even makes it sound better than it really is, because in 6 of those 7 they scored 2 runs or less. They only got to 3 runs once.
Well, there's a couple ways of looking at it. It's just a matter of time before they have to come out.
Swung on and missed. Carrasco strikes him out. Number 8 for Carlos. And there are 2 down here in the 5th inning. This weekend, baseball on FS1. Yankees Angels clash at 9:30 Eastern on Friday. Then Saturday, Mets Giants at 3:30. Both games will also be available on Fox Sports Go. Up to the plate is Melky Cabrera. 0 for 2 has struck out, flied out. Chops it towards first
that
base.
helps.
Santana with the flip. Carrasco beats him to the bag, and the inning is over. So Carrasco finally holds the White Sox at bay. 5-5, middle of the 5th. call to the bullpen has been made by Robin Ventura. And the White Sox will go to the pen. Anthony Renato goes just 4 innings tonight. And they'll go to the right-hander, Michael Inoue.
14th time he has appeared in the game, 17 innings. He's going to get Napoli, Ramirez, and Chisenhall.
Renato went 4 innings, gave up 5 runs on 8 hits, walked a batter, struck out 2, allowed 2 home runs. Inoue is a big dude at 6'7". Just over 210 pounds from the Dominican.
It's just like their starter, 6'7". Starter hoop team. They may try and recruit Andrew Miller.
Yeah. Pretty good front line. Central Division might have the best front court in the league when you consider you got, what's his name in Kansas City?
Young.
Yeah,
Chris Young.
Yeah.
He's the center.
Michael Inoue came from Oakland along with Jeff Samardzija a couple of years ago. And Mike Napoli is rung up on a fastball. In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Where to begin with this one? Well, Lonnie Chisenhall, 2-run homer early, gave the Indians the lead. But the White Sox came right back. A 2-run homer by Anderson tied it. Santana put Cleveland back in front with a solo shot. White Sox came back. 2-run homer by Frazier. Tied it again. They would go ahead 5-4. And then the Indians would retake the lead on a sac fly by Jason Kipnis. And it's a 5-4 ball game here in the 5th. Five, 4, 5-5. Yeah, did I say 5-4?
Yeah, I think so.
5-5. Inoue misses up high. Ramirez doubled and scored in the second, fly to right in the third.
Came up and threw nothing but strikes to Napoli, and now he can't find the strike zone for Ramirez. Down in the count, 3-0.
And Inoue walks Ramirez with 1 out. Let's go down to Andre.
Now, I mentioned in the open that Jose Ramirez has 7 stolen bases in the last 9 games, which is a positive. But Terry Francona did have a conversation with him about picking and choosing the right times to steal bases. Like when Mike Napoli's up in front of him or up at the bat, stay at the base, let him drive you in. But they are going through a period of time where he likes how aggressive Jose is. He just wants him to make the right decision. Also, you guys are talking about that front line from the AL Central. Chris Young actually played basketball and baseball at Princeton.
Yeah, he's the one guy that has some experience in that group.
So throw it down to him every time.
Well, they'll start keeping an eye and paying more attention. And the reason why Ramirez was on before Napoli, he was hitting second one game. And he was on second base with Napoli hit and taken off. Now he normally hits behind him. So you don't have to worry about that. But Terry will not take the aggressiveness away from his base stealers. You can always, he'd rather rein him in instead of having to kick him in the butt and say, hey, don't be afraid to run. He wants you to be aggressive. He just wants you to be smart about it. And that's all part of learning how to run the bases and steal bases. You know, it's just nice that everybody's thinking about that. You know, taking an extra base when you can, and I think it all stems from Rajai. He's the one that sets the tone, and I'm sure he's the one that does a lot of talking to him. Sandy Alomar does a lot of the reading the video and the moves of the pitchers, especially at first base.
Swung out and missed. You know who's been caught the fewest number of times trying to steal bases this year
in the league? Not off the top of my head.
The team that doesn't try to steal. Baltimore. They've stolen 14 bases this year.
Yeah.
They've been caught 9 times. Lonnie Chisenhall lifts it to left field.
That's a terrible percentage.
Yeah, it's not real good, but they don't. It's not their game.
They don't run. So
I mean, you look at a team like Cleveland, for example, came into the night with 100 steals on the year. They've only been caught 23 times.
Hey, let me tell you, 75% is very, very good, and they're better than that. So you go ahead. I mean, that's outstanding.
You know, you look at it, Rick, nobody's really even close to him. Houston was second coming into the night with 83 steals, and they've been caught 33 times.
Hey, it's not easy to steal bases, and they've done it. They've got the best percentage, and they've been very aggressive lately. Now you see, in situations like this, with 2 outs, with a guy like Naquin hitting, getting to the bottom part of the lineup, there's nothing wrong with trying to steal a base here. And they will pay attention, and that's when you'll see a lot of throws. They'll call from the dugout to keep them a little bit closer. Don't forget about them. Let them know you're thinking about them.
Now, will Ramirez wait till 2 strikes?
No, you don't want to wait till 2 strikes. If you're going to just go out and you can steal it. The earlier, the better for the hitter, because it gives him a chance to drive you in if he can steal it. Now, if the guy is quick to home plate, which Inoa seems like he is, you know, a little better than average, you wait till 2 strikes if you don't think you can get a good jump on him. Or you try and pick an off-speed pitch when you think he'll be throwing it.
Naquin's had a tough night at the dish, has struck out both times, but he's got a new arm in there, Inoa. Smashed by Abreu. Ramirez will go to third. And the Indians have runners at the corners with 2 down.
Well, I'll tell you what, he unloaded on that pitch. He took a healthy cut, gets it under the glove of Abreu at first base. Ramirez able to get all the way to third base. That one was hit very hard. So Naquin gets a hit, keeps the inning going with 2 outs for runners at first and third now. That'll give Guyer an opportunity.
Guyer's already 2 for 2 tonight. He squared one up and hit a bullet to left center in the second. And then it did a nice job of going the other way in the 4th inning for a base hit.
First time up, fastball, turns on it. And that one that gave him a little swinging room, easy for him to hit. The next time he stayed inside the baseball and got an inside fastball, took it the other way.
So far on this homestand with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. As a team, the Indians are batting .389. And don't worry that Guyer's down on the count 0-2, because the hits with 2 strikes just seem to keep coming one after another.
Well, it's rare to be hitting the baseball like that over the course of a homestand. You are hot. you know, because that's the toughest hit to get, is the 2-out base hit when you're hitting 380. That's a heck of a, you better win a lot of games.
Going away again, 2-2.
Well, and somebody may be thinking, why isn't Naquin running right here? Well, if he runs and steals a base, then you can sort of pitch around Geyer because you've got Perez on deck. So you keep that hole where he hit the last at bat between first and second and give him an opportunity. You waited this long, you wait to 3-2. He's going now.
No throw. And a steal for Naquin, his 4th.
Okay, it still doesn't change. And Navarro's going to go out and talk to him and say, hey, look, you've got first base open, and he can go with him with whatever he wants. And I'd probably be a slider. Naquin just sitting back there. Not a great jump, but they weren't going to throw through.
This is one of those situations that has to be tough on a hitter, because you're sitting there thinking, he's probably not going to give me anything to hit, but I can't sit there and take one right down the middle.
No. You can't lose your aggressiveness. You got to expect a strike, but you also have to beware. It may be a nasty one, a breaking ball. He doesn't have to throw you a fastball here because first base is open, and you've got Perez to follow. So you just got to know your situation. Try and stay disciplined here, and don't do too much with it.
Came in on him, popped
got that
back.
fastball, and he fouled it off. All right. Looked like a strike.
Yeah, I think it was too close to take for sure.
Yes, looked like a strike to me.
Just didn't give him a whole lot of swinging room. Geyer's been a nice addition to the ball club. He's done a terrific job. I mean, he stepped right in. Hasn't really needed much of a transition time to get used to his new surroundings. He's got 11 hits and 23 at bats with the Indians.
Well, he's coming right at him with that fastball. That one at about 95, so. This is where a hit could really hurt you.
Yeah, because
had him down in the count. You had 2 outs.
Base hit should score 2. And again the 3-2. Again, it's fouled out of play.
Yeah, that's what I thought he was going to get the first time, that slider. But he must have more confidence in that heater.
I say a base hit should score 2, but Melky Cabrera plays a fairly shallow left field, and a one-hopper to him doesn't guarantee Naquin scoring from second. He's got a fantastic throwing arm out there.
But with 2 outs, Naquin will be off on the crack, and I guarantee that Mike Sarabal will try to send him.
Again, the 3-2. This one is punched into
that?
center field, a base hit, and that will score 2. Brandon Geyer's perfect night continues. He is 3 for 3 and now has knocked in a pair as the Indians take a 7-5 lead.
I'll tell you what an at-bat by Brandon Geyer. I mean, he was down in the count, and again, a 2-strike base hit for the Indians. He fights off 3 pitches, 2 fastballs, a slider. Before he gets one, he takes the other way. And it comes with 2 outs. It's back-to-back hits by Naquin. Now Geyer. They take a 7-5 lead. And this has been an incredible homestand. How many 2-strike hits? 37?
Well,
37.
The way he got this hit, though, and you pointed it out before it happened. Had him 0-2. He worked it. He fought his way back into it. And then ends up with the...
That's a big hit right there. That's a killer with 2 outs.
Wait, he wasn't 0-2, was he? It was the other way around. Wasn't it with Geyer? He was.
No, Geyer had to fight his way
0-2?
back into his count. It was 0-2.
It was 0-2. Okay. Well, he had 2 outs with one runner on base. And then Naquin with that bullet in the right. Geyer drives in a pair after the steal.
Well, they're going to try a pitch out thinking they're going to run. No need to run now. You don't want to run and make the last out with Perez hitting, because you want your leadoff hitter leading off if he doesn't get a hit.
Well, this is where Roberto Perez could maybe take advantage of a pitcher who's just kind of mentally feeling the effects of a letdown. You know, man, I just gave up the hit, just gave up the lead, and maybe he makes a mistake and just lays one in there. And this is an opportunity maybe to jump him.
Well, he started this inning out 3 perfect pitches to Napoli. He went down. He looking. Then he walked Ramirez on 4. Got the second out by Chisenhall. And then a nice base hit by Naquin and an 0-2 count.
Again, he was down 0-2.
I know. So maybe it is shaking him up a little bit. 10 hits for the Indians tonight. 6 coming with 2 strikes.
Boy, he's going through all sort of variations there.
It's funny, when hitters get good, they're not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. And it seems like on this homestand, that's what the Indians are doing. They're not afraid to hit with 2 strikes.
Missed inside, ball 4. So this inning has gone from bad to worse for Michael Ynoa, as the top of the order now comes to the plate, and Robin Ventura has already seen enough. He's going to go to the bullpen with 2 on and 2 out here in the 5th. And the Indians leading at 7-5, and now they got a chance to really open it up against Chicago. And Ventura, I think he's made the move officially. Want to make sure. Yeah, that's it for Ynoa. We'll be right back.
It's 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket located in the family deck at Progressive Field. The kids clubhouse tickets are only available at Indians.com.
Well, this gives you an idea where Robin Ventura is at with this game. He's going to Tommy Kahnle, who's been on a pretty good run of late. He's made 5 straight scoreless appearances on the road. So much for maybe saving him for later in the game. He wants to get out of this inning without the Indians blowing it wide open. Kahnle threw a scoreless 8th inning a week ago against Kansas City and struck out all 3 batters.
Well, he has a great arm. We saw him come in first time against us in Chicago, and boy, he can bring it. If he throws strikes, he's going to be tough to hit. bottom part of the lineup did a terrific job this inning to get the Indians on the board and retake the lead here in the 5th.
Chops it foul. This is the 15th appearance this year for Tommy Kahnle. In his first 14 appearances, the first batter he has faced has gotten exactly 1 hit against him. 1 for 11. There have been 3 walks, and that's always something to keep in mind with a guy like Santana, who's drawn the 7th most walks in the American League this year with 62. Santana with a ground ball routine here. Saladino will throw him out, and the inning is over. 5 complete. Indians go back in front. Brandon Guyer delivers with the 2-out 2-run single, and it's 7-5 Cleveland. The hot dog race here at Progressive Field, and Andre putting the kibosh on Mustard.
Didn't Mustard get him in the today before his show?
It's been an ongoing battle between those two.
Oh, okay.
Mustard has taunted Andre though quite a bit, so I think it's one of those situations where he got what was coming to him.
Wow, you're sticking up for Mustard? I'm sticking up for Andre.
I'm sticking up for Andre. So Mustard's been messing with Andre for a while now.
Then Andre hit him harder.
Jose Abreu leading off here in the 6th for Chicago. Singled and scored his last time up. That one went right over the head of Ed Farmer and then ricocheted off DJ.
Oh, that got into the booth, huh?
Darren Jackson, the former outfielder. Let's get some hands on that. You were smart, Ed. You ducked. That was a smart move. DJ, I don't think he ever saw the ricochet, and it almost conked him on the head.
He's looking at it the other way. He's not even looking at the field.
Holds it foul.
See if Carlos can dig deep again and try and have one more shutdown inning in it. He's at 80 pitches.
Check, did he go? They appeal? No. Adrian Johnson said he did not go. I thought for sure they were going to get him rung up, but no, he did hold up.
Yeah, he's a big, strong guy. That's not easy once you get started to keep that bat back.
Swung out and missed. Carlos Carrasco stayed with it and gets his 9th strikeout of the evening.
Boy, didn't give in. That was a nice located slider right there. Started, looked like a strike, and look at it go straight down. You get the swing and miss. Excellent pitch.
Justin Morneau, 92 mile an hour, and he threw it by him, and 1-1 to count. Morneau doubled and scored in the 4th inning. Out of play down the left side.
Well, that's he did a nice job of hitting that pitch down the third baseline. Ramirez way off the line. And staying on the baseball, didn't try to pull it. Got himself a double.
Swung on and missed. And Morneau chased one down in the dirt. And Carlos Carrasco double figures now with his 10th strikeout of the night. Boy, Carrasco has been terrific. And we'll go back to the studios for an in-game update with Ashley.
Thanks, Matt. Keeping an eye on the Tigers and the Royals, and Alex Gordon would tie it up in the 8th, his 10th homer of the season. This one off Justin Wilson. Anibal Sanchez, guys, with a no-hitter going for 6 2/3 innings, striking out 8. Eric Hosmer broke that one up, tied top of the 8th.
Thank you, Ashley. Carlos Carrasco, for the 2nd time this season, has reached double figures in strikeouts.
Well, that slider's getting awesome right now. It's going straight down in this inning. Those 2 runs were a boost for him, it looks like.
Rick,
He's staying right with it.
Before that big hit by Frazier, the double off the wall that just missed going out for the home run on the 4th, to give you an idea of how bad Frazier had been struggling. Dropped down to the 6th spot in the order. In his previous 21 games, he was batting .167.
There you go.
And he is out looking as Carlos Carrasco just struck out the side, slicing and dicing his way to 11 strikeouts on the night. Carrasco, 11 on the night. He started out striking out 4 of the first 6. He has now struck out 4 of the last 5. Bottom of the 6th inning. Tommy Kahnle, who got the final out of the 5th, will stay on. Jason Kipnis, Francisco Lindor, Mike Napoli due up.
Indians with 10 hits tonight. White Sox with 7.
Down low.
Given a good night last night. Had 3 hits in the ball game. Doesn't have one tonight. Has a sacrifice fly back in the 4th in the RBI.
In tight with a fastball at 96.
Yeah, he can get it up there.
Fouled right back. Out of play again. Out of play. Kipnis hanging in there. Tommy Kahnle trying to keep it a 2-run deficit. The Indians have reached double figures in hits with 10. Kipnis went after it. Strikes out for the first time tonight. And there's one away. The series going to wrap up tomorrow night. Danny Salazar comes off the DL. Carlos Rodon will go for Chicago. Good matchup. Anxious to see what Salazar can do coming back from the DL. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Alan Jensen. First pitch 7 o'clock right here on Sports Time Ohio. Strike down at the knees to Lindor. Andre has more on Salazar.
There's an excitement. You talk about how you're curious as to how he'll pitch. There's an excitement in this dugout about how Danny will pitch. He feels good. His mind is clear right now. And I know when he threw 2 days ago, he said he really let it go. First time he says probably since May that he's really let things go, and it felt good. Since about
May?
Yeah, since about late May, early June. He says it's the first time he's let go and not worried or thought about anything. So it should be good to see him tomorrow.
Well, I know I'm looking forward to seeing him. Need to get him back into the rotation for the duration.
Shoots that one to left. Melky Cabrera lost it in the lights.
You see the glove up there he was putting up? I thought he was, for some reason, didn't know, but he sort of was running the ball into the lights. And that'll probably be a double for Lindor here, because he never really got to the baseball. He did. Okay, he gave him an error. I don't know if he even touched the ball. That'll be scored in error.
Never touched it.
No. He lost it in the lights. I saw the glove go up, and I was thinking to myself, he ran it into it.
So you can lose it in the sun, it's not an error, but if you lose it in the lights, it is?
I don't know. I can't figure it out anymore.
I shouldn't have brought it up.
Yeah, it'll probably be changed, but it goes as an error for now.
Mike Napoli, the batter. And a little bit outside, ball one.
So both teams with an error. Look, it's a ball he should have caught, no question about it.
No doubt about it.
You know, you should catch it, but it's tough to catch something you can't see. I mean, it happens. You don't see it a lot, but you see it.
Napoli comes up empty, 1-1.
Well, see if the Indians can take advantage of a break they get there.
High pop. This might stay in play.
It will. It's too high for the lights, though.
2 down.
Well, you can grab $2 Budweiser cans out in the right field district. That'll be Friday. The Indians will host the Toronto Blue Jays. We'll wrap up a 3-game series over the weekend with the Jays and finish our games with the Eastern Division. It'll be Dollar Dogs all night long. Go to Indians.com and get your ticket. Should be a really fun series this weekend, I would think. We had, you go back to, what was it, the 1st of July, we were in Toronto, and Indians were on that streak. They won their first 8 games, and that one was the 19-inning game. And then they lost the last 2 in Toronto. So it was good baseball. It should be a fun series this weekend. Looking forward to that one as well. Blue Jays have been playing solid baseball since May, about as good as anybody, even better than the Cubs and the Indians when you look at the records.
I was going to say, Arch, not only am I looking forward to that series, then we go to Oakland and then to Texas for 4. So that's a Rangers club that really interesting to see how the Indians fare against them as well.
Yeah, there's some good baseball coming up, folks.
Rangers began the day best mark in the American League at 71-50.
I mean, anytime you're playing a top-notch team, the team that's running for it, and they've been playing well over a course of 2 to 3 months or more. They've got a dynamic offense with power, and you know what? Don't sell their pitching short. Nobody talks about their starting pitcher, but they're ranked ahead of the Indians.
Not that I doubt you, but just you saying that made me have to go. Oh, I thought you were talking about Texas.
I was saying Toronto.
Oh, yeah.
Toronto. We talk about how they hit the baseball and how they can score and go deep. Nobody talks about their pitching. Jay Happ, 17 wins. Don't know if we'll see him. They went to a 6-man rotation.
It's kind of like the Indians in reverse. Everybody wants to talk about the Indians pitching.
Yeah.
And they kind of forget this is a good offensive club.
Exactly.
Same thing holds true for Toronto. (7-5) the Indians lead at Jose Ramirez with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, where he's been one of the best hitters in the American League. But J.B. Shutt goes to the turf and robs of an RBI hit right here. 6 complete. Cleveland 7, Chicago 5. brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. By Ford, built Ford tough. And by Firelands Regional Medical Center. Well, we go now to the 7th inning. Carlos Carrasco was sort of teetering. He was like a prize fighter, bobbing and weaving. He was the Ali Rope-a-dope. And he made it through 5th and 6th.
He came out with a knockout punch last inning with that slider that was so good.
Chopped up the middle. And a quick release by Lindor. 1 away.
Well, he started out like a house of fire, striking out 4 of the first 6 batters he faced. And I mean, he had it all working. Good fastball, good slider, some change-ups mixed in there. They were able to get to him over the 3rd and 4th inning. And then after they get him the lead, 7-5, he went to work, and that slider was falling off the table. Ended up striking out the side in the 6th. Gets a leadoff man here in the 7th. Hasn't walked anybody tonight.
Low and away.
You know, that's vintage Carlos Carrasco. When he goes out there, you know, he's throwing strikes. He's got his 11 strikeouts. He's just at 92 pitches. He's in the 7th inning. But no walks. When they got to him, they bunched their hits together. They did some damage. And then he came back and settled in.
Right back toward Lindor. Sounded like the bat broke. 2 down.
Well, speaking of Lindor, you can get a Francisco Lindor jersey. That'll be courtesy of Liberty Ford on Saturday this weekend. The game will have fireworks following that Blue Jays Indians game. Go to Indians.com. 7:10 start.
Outside, he missed ball 1. A little high.
Carrasco trying to win his 9th game tonight. You look at it, Kluber now has 13 that leads the team. Salazar, who's pitching tomorrow, has 11. Tomlin has 11. Trevor Bauer also has 9 wins, and that's what Carrasco's trying to get to tonight.
Diving attempt by Kipnis just by his glove and into right field for a 2-out hit.
Well, it was a nice try, good effort. He hit it hard enough to get it by him. He got enough on the baseball. He hit it well.
Elliott retired 7 in a row before that base hit by Navarro. And now Terry Francona,
he made the call,
is going to make his move to the bullpen. Carlos Carrasco, though, ends up with 6 2/3 innings of work here tonight. Timeout for a pitching change. We'll be right back. the night. And 11 strikeouts, only the second time he's gone double digits in punch-outs this year. Our great clip of the game from last night was Andrew Miller, 16 pitches, 6 up, 6 down, 2 perfect innings of relief. Tonight it will be Kyle Crockett who comes into the ball game for the Indians with 2 down and a runner aboard in this 7th inning. He'll be facing Adam Eaton, top of the order for Chicago.
Looking for that final out in the 7th inning.
And Crockett with a breaking ball for strike 1. Off speed pitch that time, missed inside. And a close call. But I didn't get it. 2-1.
You know, you don't have to worry about Navarro. If you watch him over there, he's about 2 feet off. I'm thinking Santana can maybe get off the base a little bit with the left-hander. You know, with the Eaton up there, just in case he pulls the ball, because that's his lead right there.
He's not going anywhere.
No, that's his lead.
To Lindor.
There you go.
And the inning-ending force to Kipnis. Kyle Crockett gets his man. Stretch time in Cleveland, 7-5 Indians. And the left-hander, Dan Jennings, for the 2nd straight night on the pitch here in the bottom of the 7th. Last night, Dan Jennings did not retire a batter and gave up 2 hits to the only 2 guys he faced. Different hitters this time around, though. He'll face Lonnie Chisenhall and then Tyler Naquin. You notice those pesky bugs are back?
Yeah.
For the guys down on the field, not up here. But you can see, if you've got that pure HD TV at home, you could probably see him swirling above the head of Lonnie Chisenhall and the pitcher Dan Jennings. It's got to be a little bit distracting. Get one of those flying up into your nose or something.
Oh yeah.
And a fastball strike at the knees. Swing and a miss. Boy, that was a good pitch by Jennings.
That's going to be the slider. Arsenault just kept right on going, took enough of it off, but had some very good break to it.
Staying alive. Popped him up. Third baseman Todd Frazier, foul territory. One away. It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. It's not quite battle royale.
Yes, it is.
But it has been a rivalry in the making. You get the feeling these two guys just don't like each other.
You get the shovel and everything.
Mustard, Andre. And tonight it came to a head when down goes Mustard. He should have grabbed a chair and came out, like ring over the ring top like world championship
This is
wrestling.
coming. This is what it is. It's WWE. Andre Knott against Mustard.
Hey, next time he's going to jump up on the railing and go super fly on him.
And then he's going to move and he'll be face first into the dirt. We got Rajai Davis pinch hitting.
Tyler Naquin was 1 for 3 tonight with a base hit, a stolen base, and a run scored. Rajai 0 for 7 as a pinch hitter this year. Bounced in there. And the 1-2 just missed. He wanted it. Didn't get the call as it was just off the outside edge. Is that a good swing by Andre there?
No,
that's a fair ball by Rajai, who I don't know if he just didn't get a good feel for that ball off the bat or what, but he got himself a 1-out base hit.
he stayed on it. It stayed right inside the line down there. I don't know what happened to Abreu, but you don't want to look at. I don't know if
Yeah,
Ron
he didn't see it, did he?
Look at. He's looking to see where the ball is. Oh, now he picked it up.
I didn't think he had a good read on it.
We see that a couple of times, and that ball got to the railing at the same time that Abreu was, excuse me,
He couldn't see the ball from the
Eaton
bugs.
was getting there. But you don't test his arm. He's got a good arm out and right.
Brandon Guyer, the batter, is 3 for 3 with 3 singles, 2 RBIs, and a run scored. He is having himself quite a night.
Yeah, his last at bat was probably the at bat of the game. Down to the count 0-2.
What better way to sort of get in the good graces of your new teammates than to bat 500 in your first 11 games?
He's done it. He's fit in. You know what I like? He got the start tonight against the right-hander, and that's where the hits are coming. And now here's your left-hander. That's what they were selling him as very good luck hitting against left-handed pitching.
White Sox are going to turn 2, and that ends the inning. We head to the 8th. Indians 7, White Sox 5. Broadcast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. What do you got there? Full moon?
Looking like yes.
It doesn't get much brighter than that, I don't believe. That is beautiful.
Yes, it is.
7-5, 8th inning now, and Brian Shaw coming on to pitch for the Indians. Shaw has not pitched since the 13th, so he's had 3 solid days off. Rajai Davis now into the ball game, taking over for Naquin in center field. Saladino, Cabrera, Abreu due for the White Sox here in the 8th.
Shaw had that many pitches. Again, he shook about 4 or 5 times.
Boy, he really took something off
that was
time.
the slider. That's good. That's a, you know, you can take it off. It's got good depth to it. It breaks down. You know, he throws that hard cutter to go with his fastball. That really takes the hitters off balance.
And there's that cutter, but it's fouled off.
Saladino has done a nice job in the series trying to take the ball the other way, so that may help him stay back on that cutter.
This has been a tough opponent for Shaw this year in his 5 appearances against the White Sox. He's given up 6 runs in just 4 innings of work. In the air to left.
A little off the end.
Geyer barely has to move. 1 away. Tom Bochenek points out, though, that since the arrival of Andrew Miller, it's not that he's not feeling the pressure. I hate that word, but he's maybe lightened the burden on Brian Shaw. And in 5 games, he's pitched 5 innings and hasn't allowed a run. He's given up 4 hits.
Totally agree. When you get a guy like Miller, one of the best relievers in the league, he's going to take pressure off everybody.
I mean, let's face it, Arch. For the most part, the last couple of years for Terry Francona, if they have the lead late, it's Shaw and Allen.
Yeah, and it's like that. They both appear in about the same number of games because they follow one another, no question. That's why your starters, if they could go 7, it was that bridge gap, that the 7th, that they were having a hard time getting through for, a certain time this year. I mean, this guy goes in and he always works. I remember that one spell he had where he struggled. People wanted to get rid of him, take him out. He doesn't belong to be there. And then he settled in. He had about a 4 or 5 outing rough spell.
And there's a blooper that just over the head of Jose Ramirez at third base. And a nice job of hitting by Melky Cabrera. And that gives the White Sox a chance to bring the tying run to the plate the rest of the inning. First up will be Jose Abreu, who is 1 for 3 on the night. Abreu singled and scored back in the 4th. Sandwiched in between a couple of strikeouts. And Bryant Shaw with the first pitch strike in there. Abreu, always dangerous. He's the guy you circle in that White Sox lineup. In moments like this, you hate to see him at the plate because of the damage that he can do. Good pitch by Shaw. Boy, he amped that one up to 95 miles an hour.
And that's exactly what Abreu's looking to do. He's looking to tie the ball game up.
Side. I think that's some smoke on it.
That's one you try and get out of the way of. You start running.
I think that guy with his hat on backwards, he was thinking about it, and then as the ball got closer, he realized how quick it was coming. He said, I'm going to get out of the way.
Yes, you do. I certainly would. You see it coming in, you go, let it, pick it up when it stops.
I'm going to get that. I'm going to get that. Oh, no, I'm not.
Oh, that's a good thing. It got nothing but looked like it got a step up there and ricocheted.
Whew. Shaw's got him down on the count 0-2. Up high with a fastball. Abreu has grounded into the 5th most double plays in the American League this year. 16 times he's hit into a twin killer.
Well, they'd love one here. There it is.
Lindor to Kipnis on the first. Double play. They got him. Shaw gets a 2-for-1. And we go to the bottom of the 8th with the Indians in front 7-5.
The White Sox, we have another update for you on the Royals and the Tigers. Top of the 9th, and it's tied at 1. Eric Hosmer with a 2-run shot, his 17th of the season. Lorenzo Cain would score. That would put them up 3-1. That one is a final now. Royals win it 4-1, guys.
Well, that went from a no-hitter to an L in a hurry. Didn't you say the 7th inning he was going into the 7th with a no-no?
Yep, through 6. So the Indians up 6.5. And a chance to make it 7 in the Central Division if they can hold on. Bottom of the 8th. New pitcher for the White Sox, Roberto Perez, to lead off for Cleveland. Jacob Turner made a couple of starts this year for the White Sox. Up high, ball 1. The middle, cut off by Anderson, and from the outfield, Grass, a good throw on the money, and there's one away. You can see why the White Sox like Tim Anderson. He's got terrific range, a good strong throwing arm, and that home run he hit today, I'm telling you, you don't see many balls hit with that kind of power. Now, whether or not he can put it all together on a consistent basis, well, that's what they're going to try and find out.
He's a good looking young player.
Yeah.
From what we've seen to this point against us, he looks very talented.
His only problem is it's kind of like trying to elbow your way into the popular club in high school, because you got Lindor, you got Correa. There's a lot of good young shortstops. He's trying to make his own name.
Just happy to be in the big leagues, first of all. Make your name in your own city. Don't worry about anything else. He looks like he's got some talent. He can run, hit for power. He looks like he's a pretty slick fielding shortstop.
Carlos Santana homered in the 3rd. He had a base hit in the 4th.
Well, I like the base hit. He went the other way with it. He's been trying to pull everything, and even though he did hit that long home run, there was a man on second base and he lined it into left field. That was a nice base hit.
And that's ball 4. The 63rd walk of the year for Carlos Santana. 1 on, 1 out. And it's going to bring up Jason Kipnis, who is 0 for 3 on the night. Kipnis drove in a run back in the 4th with a sacrifice fly. Recapping the keys to the game, courtesy of Mazda. The Indians jumped on Renato in the early going. Lonnie Chisnall got him for a 2-run homer. Santana took him deep. And let's see if the Indians can make it stand up. This bullpen, which has been very good and even better of late, trying to close it out tonight. Will it be a save situation, or will the offense provide a wider margin here? Cody Allen is heating it up in the pen. Santana takes off. The ball goes to the backstop. So it's an easy steal for Santana, his 5th on the year. And Rick, even if that ball doesn't get away, I think he had it easily.
Yeah, everybody's stealing now. It's contagious. Santana, it's his 5th. He was running. He picked the right pitch to run on. He didn't even have to slide, but that ball got back to the backstop. So give him a stolen base.
Kipnis with another RBI opportunity. But he hits it right at Saladino. 2 down. That'll give Francisco Lindor the 2-out RBI chance, and he's 2 for 4 with a single, a double, and a run scored. With back in the 6th inning, if you were with us earlier, the ball that Lindor hit was originally ruled an error on Melky Cabrera, but he lost the ball in the lights, and the official score upon further review changed his decision and gave Lindor a double.
Might have had time to go look at a replay of it in between innings. Go out in the hallway to
Where would he have gone?
I don't know, but he's welcome to come here.
Now Cabrera's a good left fielder. Man, tremendous throwing arm. At his age, and the wheels maybe not what they once were. Big chopper to first, and Abreu does a nice job to scoop that one, and the inning is over. We'll go to the 9th. Cody Allen will try to close it out when we come back.
Up his 2nd consecutive save here tonight over the White Sox as we welcome you back to Progressive Field along with Jensen Lewis, Al Pawlowski. So here in the 9th inning, Cody Allen has Morneau, Frazier, and Shuck due up.
Well, pretty impressive job by Carlos Carrasco bouncing back, kept his team in the ball game. Hats off to the offense. We'll break down some interesting plays that happened along this one, but got the right guy here in the 9th. Cody Allen ready to shut it down.
All right, we'll see what happens. Make sure you stay tuned after the game for Indians Live, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. For the call of the 9th inning, back upstairs we go. Here are Matt and Rick.
Guys, call security. I think somebody stole your ties.
Uh-oh. Where'd it go?
You know what? Good for you. I took them, and I'm going to burn them.
Cody Allen will try to tie a knot on this one. 51st appearance on the year. 2.29 ERA, looking for his 24th save and 26 tries. He's got Morneau, Frazier, and Shuck due up. Morneau 1 for 3, doubled and scored in the 4th.
Had a 1-2-3 inning last night.
And a swing and a miss. Boy, I don't know what it is lately, Rick. His breaking ball has been very effective.
Well, he's a tough guy to hit when he has both his pitches working. He also has a changeup, but when he has that fastball curveball combination working, it's a tough at bat for any hitter.
Swung on and missed with a curveball. 1 down. Look at the spin on that baby. Todd Frazier. He's 1 for 3. Doubled in a couple of runs in the 4th. But I mentioned before, I think one of the reasons that you look at him, normally a guy that's third in the league in home runs is going to be batting fourth, maybe fifth, potentially third, but he's going to be batting somewhere right in the middle of that lineup. But he's batting sixth just because, for no other reason than lately, he hasn't been able to get hits or drive in runs. Previous 21 games, I told you earlier, he's hitting 167. In those 21 games, he had 8 RBIs and 42 men left on base.
Wow.
So if you're Robin Ventura, you just figure, like, you got to take him out of that spot for a little while, maybe let him catch his breath.
Right, exactly.
Swung on and missed a high fastball from Cody.
Well, he's seen some pretty good pitching in the first 2 games of this series. I will say that. There's the high fastball. It's above the belt, and you see it, and you get after it, but come up empty. Allen now 1-2 count. And now that you talk about those bugs, there it is. It's on the face of Frazier. That's not the time you want to get him in your eye.
No.
Or on your face. 1-2 count facing Cody Allen.
He lays off a breaking ball.
Pretty good take right there.
And the 2-2. Fastball hit in the hole. Diving stop by Frazier for Lindor, but it's way off the mark. Santana can't stop it, and now Frazier goes to second base.
Yeah, I think Frankie's mad at himself because he tried to throw it all the way instead of maybe his one hop thing. And Elo, to get to that ball was nearly impossible and really didn't have much time. So he figured, I got to throw it all the way in the air, and Santana comes up and it goes right into their dugout. It'll be a base hit now and an error. Second error of the night for the Indians.
But the key here is that for Chicago now, the tying run at the plate the rest of the inning. J.B. Shuck 1 for 3 on the night. And a fastball strike. And now Shuck's got a bug problem. Breaking ball down and in. He's able to lay off 1-1. Upstairs. Now the 2-1. Fastball dotted the outside corner to even the count. This crowd of just over 14,000 anxiously watching Cody Allen work here in the ninth with 1 on, 1 out. And the 2-2 is fouled right back. Big night in downtown Cleveland, and an even bigger night coming tomorrow. Sir Paul McCartney in concert across the way this evening at the Q, and then tomorrow night we've got a ball game. He's in concert again, and the Browns will have a preseason gate down the street. So
no kidding.
Cleveland, it's been a hopping summer, and it's only going to stay that way as we roll through the middle of August. Perez goes out. This series wraps up tomorrow night. And then the Toronto Blue Jays come to town for the weekend. Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. And then the homestand comes to a close. The next time the Indians will be home, August 29th. Again, Cody comes set, checks that runner at second base, and the 2-2 to Shuck. Right back to him, it gets by him. Kipnis flags it down. His throw to first, dug out, but not in time.
What was Frazier doing out there? Ball hit up the middle. He froze.
I think maybe he thought Cody Allen was going to catch it, or maybe had caught it, and by the time he realized it was by him, it was too late to go. That's all I can figure.
Well, that's another break right there. The breaking ball, and it went past, but then, you know, he just sort of stopped. But then Kipnis caught up to it. He had no play. He would have been able to throw it to third. So Shuck beats it out. It'll go as an infield single. So now the tying run's aboard. The White Sox with 11 hits, and that's going to bring Anderson up with 1 out.
So no ball has left the infield. But the White Sox are mounting a serious threat. Tim Anderson hacks and fouls it back. Got the off-speed pitch, but couldn't quite square it. Remember, this is an Indians club that when leading after 8, 62-0 on the year.
Out comes Mickey Callaway to talk to him, and you know, so far what we've seen today, Anderson, he hit the fastball from Carrasco. But boy, he struggled on the breaking balls, and I'm thinking that might be what Callaway's talking about. That was high off the foul pole in left field. That was his 7th home run.
Tim Anderson, born in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Was a 17th overall pick by the White Sox 3 years ago. And the 0-1 is outside. And the 1-1. That was a pretty good pitch. I'm not sure what was wrong with it. Take another look. And I guess it wrapped around the inside part of the plate.
Just can't throw that breaking ball for a strike now. That's exactly what I think Callaway talked to him about. Go with the off-speed stuff in the breaking ball, but he can't throw it for a strike.
Well, he's working himself into a real mess now. Now you've got Anderson sitting fastball 3-1. Does Cody stay with the breaking ball? Risk walking it, or does he go at him with a heater? Fastball strike on the outside corner. Just did catch the outside edge of the plate.
There it is. location right there on the outside corner brings it to a full count.
The tying run is at first base, the 3-2 pitch. And it's low, ball 4. And that walk loads the bases. And to the plate is the switch hitting catcher, Dioner Navarro. Navarro 1 for 3 tonight. Dan Otero getting loose. Again, you look at the way this inning has unfolded. Frazier hit a ground ball on the infield. Shuck hit a ground ball on the infield. And he was trying to make the perfect pitch to Anderson, fell behind him, ended up walking him. But the stage is set nonetheless for Dioner Navarro.
Nothing that a ground ball won't cure. Turn 2, game over.
As long as it's hit at somebody, if it's hit in the hole, real good chance this game will get tied up. Shuck runs pretty well. He's the tying run at second base. Tim Anderson, the go-ahead run, down at first. Popped him up, but this is trouble. Ramirez can't make the play. White Sox get a run, and the tying run is now at third base. And it's a 7-6 ball game. So they still haven't hit a ball hard, but they've scored a run. The bases are still loaded, and there's only 1 out.
Well, Ramirez gets leather on it. His back is to the infield. An awfully tough play for any infielder to run directly out like that to make a play. It was placed perfectly. So now they are in trouble. Bases loaded, still just 1 out. The last 4 have reached. And you're getting back to the top of the lineup with Eaton, who's not an easy guy to double up because he can get down the line as well.
Well, the Indians are going to roll the dice here, bring the infield in, and try to go home with the throw. Tying run at third. 1 out in the ninth. And a good pitch for a strike. Now, we go back to a couple of days ago when the Indians were playing the Red Sox and Craig Kimbrell was on the mound. There are some times when, as a closer, you need a strikeout.
Yeah.
And that's the situation that Cody Allen finds himself right now. I mean, sure, you'd love a ground ball right at an infielder, but ideally, he'd love a strikeout here. Swung out and missed. It's 0-2. And he's just preying on the aggressiveness now of Adam Eaton. Great spin on that breaking ball. Cody ready. 2-strike pitch. Breaking ball again. This one is going to be hit out of the yard for a grand slam. Wow, what a turn of events. The White Sox have scored 5 in the ninth.
On an 0-2 pitch. How many 0-2 pitches and counts have we seen today where the hitters have gotten hits in a ball game, and that one's right there, down and in, and you hit a grand slam.
Does that qualify as going to the well one too many times?
Well, I don't know. He was blowing a bubble as he was swinging the bat, and that bubble burst, and so did the Indians inning right here. That's a 5 spot, and the White Sox have a 10-7 lead.
Timeout for a pitching change. Indians now down 3.
dugout, and why not? Boy, he was down in the count 0-2. You look at the sequence there. Allen comes in with a breaking ball, strike one, got him to swing it one out of the zone, strike two, and then comes back one more time and left that one in his wheelhouse, and that's a four-pointer, and it's 5 for the inning.
Right at Jason Kipnis. 2 down. Dan Otero out of the bullpen. Indians will have the 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up in the bottom of the 9th. David Robertson getting loose for Chicago. Wow. I mean, did that change in a hurry? And again, until the grand slam, there wasn't a hard hit ball in the inning. I shouldn't say that. I mean, Frazier's ball was hard hit, but they didn't hit one out of the infield. Just perfectly placed. Mix in a walk, and the next thing you know, an 0-2 breaking ball is hit out, and just like that, a 5-run 9th inning for Chicago. Only the 3rd blown save of the year for Cody Allen. One and 2 the count. Broke his bat. At least it sounded like it. Guess he didn't.
No, he's staying right there. Just a funny sound to it.
Right at Santana, and we'll go to the bottom of the 9th. Now the Indians are going to have to rally. Down 3 after the grand slam by Adam Eaton. Off for the Indians here in the bottom of the 9th inning. He'll be facing David Robertson, the White Sox closer. Robertson on for the 49th time this year. He's 29 out of 35 in save situations. Omar Narvaez will take over behind the plate.
You always try to get that first man aboard and see what happens.
Napoli takes a fastball for strike 1. David Robertson is the only pitcher in Major League history to average 10 strikeouts per 9 innings in each of his first 7 seasons.
Well, he's normally cutter heavy, but he has a very good curveball. We saw that on the second pitch. But after watching today's game, when you're down 0-2, it doesn't mean anything in this ball game because there's been a lot of hits. Not only the grand slam on an 0-2 pitch, but so far today, when hitters have been down to the count 0-2, White Sox have 2, the Indians have 5.
Napoli stays alive. Robertson has had 3 days off. His last appearance was on the 13th down in Miami when he converted his 29th save of the year. He does have 6 blown saves, so he's not perfect. Low and away, full count.
Nice take, that cutter down and away. Remember I said about Jim Wolf, he's right there, he's consistent all night long. If that ball is a ball width off the plate, he calls it a ball, and he's been consistent all night.
Here's the 3-2. Low, ball 4.
There's your start. You know, you from an 0-2 count to a walk, and you got a 3-run lead, and that's what you're going. You're wondering how can you do it, but that's how it gets started. Don't necessarily have to get ahead. They've got their leadoff man aboard. You get 1 man on, you get the tying run coming to the plate now.
And a called strike. Fastball caught the outside part of the dish. Ramirez doubled in the 2nd inning. He walked and scored in the 5th. With that walk to Napoli, unless this game goes to extra innings, it would appear his 16-game hitting streak will come to an end tonight. A bit outside, and it's 2-1. Popped him up. Routine in center. Shuck is there. 1 away. You know, it's not like you get Robertson up there, and boy, if you get some left-handed hitters, you got a fighting chance. Left-handed hitters in his career are batting a .194 against him, and over the last 5 years, they're hitting only 179.
Yeah, you know, you never figure anything out. It's tough to do. Things just start snowballing at times. He's tough. That cutter gets in on the right-handed hitters. You know, he came out of New York and learned that cutter from Rivera. But like I said, he has a very good curveball to go with it as well.
The 1-0. Chisenhall lines one up the middle, and the Indians will now bring the tying run to the plate. Lonnie Chisenhall with his 3rd hit of the night. He has 3 runs batted in. And as wild a game as this has been in terms of back and forth all night long, nothing would surprise me the rest of the way here.
Oh no, this is it's been one of those days. It started out where you went to the bottom of the 2nd, you scored, top of the 3rd with a score, bottom half, top of the 4th, bottom half. It's been like that all night. It's been crazy. It's been a wild game. A divisional game that it's never over till you get the 27th out. That's what it is.
Rajai Davis came on in the 7th. He pinch hit for Naquin and had a base hit to right field. Now he shows bunt but pulls it back.
the way the Sox have been treated by the Indians pitching this year, this is the way they were going to have to win a game. They're going to have to score with double digits or something. You know what I mean? That's how you end streaks like that. The Indians have beat them 7 straight times and haven't given up more than 3 runs. So if you're the Sox, you have to go out there one day and explode.
1-0. Rajai takes 2 balls, no strikes. Hits are now even at 13 apiece. He took a healthy hack and fouled right back. 2-1. And now the 2-1. Tied him up. 2-2. Indians trying to keep the pressure on Robertson. And boy, a base hit right here would go a long way toward that end. The 2-2 pitch struck him out. It's only a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. But the way the hitters react, it looks like it has more velocity than that. 2 down in the 9th.
Well, he comes up. It's almost like a cutter right there. And they started it up, and he got him back-to-back times where he thought that ball was going to come back over the plate. Stayed right there. So he gets the second out, and the Indians down to their final out. But a guy that's had a very good night, and Brandon Guyer still gives them hope.
3 for 4. With 3 singles, 2 runs batted in, a run scored. And if Guyer reaches, Abraham Almonte has moved to the on-deck circle to bat for Perez. Guyer the tying run at the plate. And Robertson again falls behind 2-0. He's thrown more balls than strikes. 21st pitch of the inning coming up. And Guyer pops it up. Foul. Abreu to the railing. No, can't get there. And Guyer stays alive. The count now 2-1. As the White Sox are just 1 out away from evening this series at a game apiece. Series that has seen the Indians win 8 of the first 10 matchups, taking the last 7 in a row. 2 on, 2 out, and the 2-1 to Guyer. High, 3 balls and a strike.
You lock in now. Zone in.
Guyer cuts and misses, and now the count is full, so the runners will be off on a 3-2 pitch. And that ball again, Robertson able to throw it and get good movement on the pitch. It looks good to the hitter coming in and just moves enough where he can't barrel it up. Runners go, payoff pitch, swinging a ground ball foul.
Guyer, the big hit back in the 5th inning that made it a 7-5 game. Down to the count 0-2, came back, got the big hit to right field. Chance to keep it going.
Again, the runners are off. The 3-2 pitch and a foul right back. Robertson, it certainly hasn't been a walk in the park for him, even though he came in with a 3-run advantage.
Yep. Pitch number 26 on the way.
8th of the at bat. Again, the runners go. And a chopper to third. Frazier has it. His throw ends the ball game. So the White Sox come back with 5 in the 9th and hold on to win it by a final score of 10-7. They even the series at a game apiece, and the Indians' record now 68-50 on the year, while the White Sox go to 57-62. The winning pitcher is Jacob Turner. He's now 1-1 on the year. The save goes to David Robertson, his 30th on the year. Cody Allen takes the loss. He's now 2-5 after suffering his 3rd blown save of the season. Pat O'Brien play of the game was the Adam Eaton grand slam. That was the big blow for the White Sox on an 0-2 pitch.
No kidding. His first grand slam of his career. And I'll tell you what, an 0-2 pitch the last time you were expecting it. Allen couldn't believe it. That was the 3rd straight curveball. That made it a 5-run inning. And that's all they needed. They came back and they snatched one away today from the Indians, no doubt about it. And that'll put smiles on your faces if you're the White Sox.
If there's a silver lining for Cleveland, it's the fact that the Tigers lost earlier tonight against Kansas City, so they still maintain a 6-game lead in the Central Division. But this is one of those ones that feels like you had it in the boat and you let it get back into the water.
No question about it. You play games like that, you're going to win a couple like this during the year, and you're going to lose a couple. And those ones, when you lose, they're tough to swallow, but you got to come back fighting tomorrow, and they still have a chance to win the series.
We'll have it for you tomorrow night as Danny Salazar comes back from the DL to face the Chicago White Sox. 7 o'clock right here on Sports Time Ohio. For Rick Manning and Andre Knott, I'm Matt Underwood. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Indians Live is next.